frazzled? What's got you confused? Where do you need some clarity? Who's got their hand up? AJ's got his hand up. Hey, good morning, AJ.
Good morning, Chief. How's it going?
Outstanding.
I'm still one of those VAOGs that needs to raise their hand before talking. So unmuting was unforgivable back in the day. I remember. I'm kidding. How's it going, man? How are
Going
you?
great.
I'm great. I saw the recording last night. Interesting conversations yesterday. I
Mm.
gotta say, interesting stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff yesterday. Well, I want to share a conversation I had with Michael during this past weekend. He
Oh,
came to,
cool.
see me actually at the lake because we usually see each other every 10 days, maybe every week and a half. And I usually go to this place because he lives in the countryside, so we kind of sit on the porch and so on. And I said, well, let's switch it up a little bit, right? And you come to the lake. He was like, okay. So we came in here, sat down for a while, and we started talking. And I see he's gotten buff, right? He gotten buffed up, buffed up. And I said, well, you must be working out and stuff. And he said, yeah, you know what? I quit smoking. I started working out. I started trading in the morning. He quit his job. He has a little bit of savings that he wants to use until the trading thing kind of
Mm-hmm.
flies off.
Yep.
And I said, good for you, man. And so we started talking. And at one point, it kind of dawned up on me. And I said to him, you know what? I realized that over the last couple of weeks, certain ideas that would later transform into change of habits or just something else, they just come up to me naturally now. It's like I was off social media for a couple weeks, and then I got my Instagram back on, and I noticed that in 2 days I had it on, I started doom scrolling again
Mhm.
because I see that for my screen time on the iPhone. And again, just by myself, I would just like, what am I doing? What's going on? What am I doing here? And then he said, well, you know what? I never thought about it, but I actually feel the same way. So quitting smoking, quitting cigarettes was, I just woke up one day and I made coffee. He made a cup of coffee, and as it usually goes, you have a cigarette while you're having your coffee, right?
All right.
He goes, I reached for the pack and I just said, man, F this shiitake. And I threw it in the bin and I never smoked again. And this was months ago. And I said, well, I guess that's just how it happens, right? So I started thinking about that conversation yesterday because it was on Saturday night. Started thinking about it, and I said, how many things am I doing right now that I really, don't want to be doing? Malalepo. And and I said, okay, you know what? Let me, because this happened already. I'm not sure if this part's gonna make sense. I know it will to you, right?
Right.
I said, okay, you know what? Can I, in the next couple days, starting from yesterday, we already got some insights into what I should be changing around my business and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try to, instead of waiting for this moment of eureka to happen, can I try and anticipate what am I gonna be changing?
Right.
I started thinking about that, and I gotta say that it's really interesting. All of a sudden, I mean, this is at least my experience. I hope people will try this as well. All of a sudden, I just got so clear on where am I wasting time in business and relationships and so on, or actually, where's the delay? And I think a huge part to this realization was the program that we've done for the DMP. As a large block of the questions actually revolves around clarity and delay, indecision, so on and so forth. And the biggest thing for it for me was realizing that going back to the industry instead of focusing on my own company is is a GSW to the heart. It's a close up GSW, man, and I don't want to, I don't want to indulge in that. So I told him last night, guys, listen, I'll be here for the next week or two just to get some affairs in order, and we're not gonna be performing again. Oh, they started pitching me, immediately this, you're a young guy, you need money, you gotta hustle and hustle, hustle, hustle. I said, man, listen, save it. I mean, just save it. And it feels liberating, I gotta say. Really feels kind of liberating, I mean, does this even make any sense?
It does. And the question I would, or the fact that will be appearing very soon is the accountability now falls on your shoulders, right? Most people, the majority of people, I would say 99% of the people, the 1% that doesn't fall into this category are schizophrenics, literally something wrong with the brain. We have a significant tendency, we have a significant need, we have a significant desire to want, to need, to take care of other people. We need recognition. We need confirmation that we're doing something right. Divorces end because somebody isn't thanking the other person. They're not speaking their love language. They're not recognizing them. They're taken for granted. And all too often, we as individuals, as our own little kingdom, have a tendency to take ourselves for granted. It's such a vicious rate. How do I know this? Because after 40 years of asking people about their evidence file, they don't have one. In 38 different languages, people do not have an evidence file. No one is ever told to build an evidence file. And if you do not have an evidence file, you will think you are lower than snake poop in a wagon rut or whale poop at the bottom of the ocean. Because when we do something good, we wipe it away. We get prepared for the next fight. Where's the next fight? Where's the next thing that could harm me, right? The brain looks for, will this kill me? That is the first and highest priority of the brain's function. Will this kill me? Then the second thing it does is, how fast can I put this thing, this new thing, into a pattern? December 8th, 9th, December 9th, 2025 has never existed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for you. Yet 2 o'clock will come and you will do most of the things you do around 2 o'clock you did yesterday. And the brain says, this is just like yesterday. And all of a sudden you'll be 65 and going, what the hell happened to my tomorrow when all I lived was yesterday's? So when you make a decision, when you say, I'm done beating myself up, if you listen to people's conversations, if you listen to people's conversations and you hear them acting as if they are an optometrist, which is an eye doctor, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. I know what you're doing. I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. I know here. I know. If I comes out of their mouth, they are seeking significance. And when you hear that, when you listen to your own dialogue, which is usually a monologue that has to compete with somebody else's monologue, you are in pain. You are going to suffer. So I love that you have this awakening. The next awakening will be, the hell did I do? How many of us say, what did we do? No, we say, what the hell did I do? Why am I so stupid? I can't believe I did that. And then when something great happens, we say, you won't believe what happened. You won't believe this. You got to hear this story. But I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. I can't believe I did this. You won't believe what happened. We don't say, I won't believe what happened. We don't believe what happened. So we ask you to confirm that I don't believe what happened. So you tell me you don't believe what happened. So I don't have to believe what happened. And then I don't have to be anything better than I am because you don't believe it. I don't believe it. What the hell am I doing here? How's that for shop talk?
This guy, man, always got some extra. I came in here. You know what? I realized that you, sir, are a bully. Okay? You bully people into their misery. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That's funny that you mention it, operating out of significance, because that's exactly what I spoke to Michael about on Saturday.
Yep.
He started talking and he said, you know what, I met this person and we had a conversation. It's one of his friends, and then himself, Michael, actually baptized their child, their son. So he's their child's godfather. And a couple more people basically talked to him, and the whole point is he doesn't tell a lot of people that he's trading because they wouldn't understand even what that is, let
Right.
alone understand the vision or whatever. And I said to him, well, you know what? Sean taught me this one thing. In English, in America, they say you can talk shop. And he said, what do you mean? And I started explaining it in Serbian. And I could see he kind of understood it, kind of was there, maybe coming over to the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I said, it's just some people that you can't talk shop with. And he told me, yeah, well, you know what? This one guy, when I told him I was trading, he told me, it's bullshitaki, it's this and that, and it's a scam, it's a sham, it's one of those things online and whatever. And because I do, and then I do, and so on and so forth. So the guy just, busted out,
Mm-hmm.
talking about himself, kind of redirected the conversation for himself and what he does and how his business is the best one ever, and so on. And I told him, Michael, you know what? Sean taught me a couple months ago that there's six, I think, basic human needs. And out of the six, we are very poor minded and we use two, which is significance and certainty. And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, well, just picture this. When you talk with someone, they're either going to tell you not to do anything out of the ordinary. So, not to do anything apart from go to school, get a job that you're going to hate. But you know that in the first 5 business days of the next month, you're going to get your salary. Because in Serbia, that's how it works. Sometimes you get the salary in the first, second. So, anywhere between first and the fifth, you're going to get your salary. So, it's significance. Don't do that. Don't be bold. Don't do this. Don't do that. Just be like the rest of us. And then certainty, because they know they're going to get their pay slip between every first and fifth of the next month. He said, gosh, man, I never thought about that. And I said, I never thought about it either until Sean spoke it into existence. And he goes, geez, man, this is going to change my outlook on a lot of things. And I said, well, that's the whole idea. Just to get the bigger picture, understand what people are operating from, what's their MO, and then just understand how to go with the flow with that. I don't want to say how to deal with it because it's very simple. I don't want to say how to handle it because I know you told me people don't like to be handled. Uh,
Just
and
exactly
yeah,
like that. I can never say that sentence unless I sound like that. Hey, listen, you know what? People don't like to be handled. So that's how it always comes out. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Hey, get on the mower. We're gonna get you lunch later. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Everybody's gonna be so afraid to come to the ranch after this. No worries, people. He's not gonna
We
make
have
you
we
work for
have to dig a
supper.
ditch here coming up soon. So if you're coming out, get ready.
Uh,
I
we got
got
an event
I
in
got
April.
gloves for you.
We got to clean the gutters up there. I mean, it's just that time of the year. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I just want to say thank you, because truly, some of these ideas and realizations are really allowing me to sit in rooms with people twice my age, three times my age, and just, I don't want to say this, I don't want this to, I don't want this to come out wrong, but just dominate the situation in terms of understanding the whole situation. So just be, um, how should I put this? You know what I'm trying to say? Just seeing the bigger picture in every conversation I have, in every room I enter, and just be kind of a half step ahead of everybody. Not that I want to do that out of significance or whatever, it's just because of understanding, just because I understand why they say what they say. So, and then that translates into me as well. If I sit down in my journal and I say, "What are you doing? I mean, what's going on?" And then I sit down and I say, "Okay, well, we have this, we have that, we have this, we have that. Let's see, what would I do? What would my highest version do? What would Sean tell me to do?" I don't say what would Sean do. I say what would Sean tell me to do. And I just, the more, the more time that passes, and the more conversations I have with you, the more lessons we go through. It's as if these things are coming to me naturally. I don't have to think about them anymore. It's not like I don't have to. Let me put it this way: I'm changing from driving a stick gear into an automatic. That's just how it feels. I don't have to manually go about my day. So you got a microphone. You got a.
This this is such a pattern that's developing. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you realize that everything you were doing before was automatic as well?
In a bad way, probably.
So if everything before was automatic and this new is becoming automatic, what did we do? We undid the automatic that wasn't working. This is why I call this personal undevelopment. Is Michael at work right now, or is he home? Where do you think Michael is?
He might be at the gym now, actually. I
Call
think
him on your
probably one.
call him on your phone, and if you get a hold of him, I just want him to hear me saying, "Hey, thanks, congratulations on your health journey, stopping smoking." That's
Let me
awesome.
try and get him on here.
And while he's doing that, for those of you in the listening audience who are wondering what the 6 human needs are, they are certainty, the assurance that you can avoid pain or gain pleasure, right? That's the certainty. The uncertainty or variety is the need for the unknown, change or new stimuli. Significance is feeling unique, feeling important, feeling special, or feeling
Yeah, I
needed.
got him on. I got him
Okay.
on.
Hey, Michael, that's Sean here. AJ was just telling me how you have gotten buff. You know, you're working out. More importantly, that you stopped smoking. And I just want to say that was important enough for me to
Yeah,
put a
6 months
little
ago.
break in
Yeah.
the call and say congratulations.
Thank you so much, bro.
You're amazing. And I wanted you to hear that because it's important when we make big,
Was it?
when we have huge changes in our life, that somebody recognizes that, because we do it. And once we make the decision, you don't think about it anymore. So I applaud you. I congratulate you. That's so cool. So growth and love, right? Connection and love is the fourth one, right? Certainty, uncertainty, significance, growth and love, the strong feeling for closeness and a union with somebody. And you have to have those four first. You have to have those four first. Because if not, you can't get 5 and 6. See, we all want growth. That's what network marketing does. We all want growth, but we don't fall out of uncertainty. We don't fall into certainty. We don't fall into love and connection. A lot of people, when they get into network marketing, they want certainty and they want significance. And because they don't wind up with uncertainty and they don't have connection and love, they can't get growth, which is what their business truly needs, and they can't get contribution, a sense of service to and focus on helping others, giving to others. So those are the 6 human needs, but you got to have the first 4. Listen, you're going to have certainty. You're going to need uncertainty in your life. You're going to have significance, and you're going to need connection and love. So the first 4 have to be met before you can get growth and contribution. And most people are like, well, I just want to serve. I just want to help. If you're doing it from certainty and significance, it ain't going to work. It just doesn't work. That's why people struggle most of their life. So great awareness, brother. Congratulations. Feels
There you
good,
go,
doesn't it?
huh? Oh yeah. I I had someone. It's funny. Last night, this girl I've been saying, we're talking on the phone, and she goes, "Why are you always calling me on WhatsApp?" And I said, I'm not sure. I just live with everybody." And then about 2, 3 minutes passed, and I said, "Oh, you know what? I just remembered why." She goes, "Why?" And I said, "Well, most people I talk to on a daily basis are not from Serbia, so we communicate via WhatsApp." And she goes, "Oh my gosh, so over the top. Always got something extra. So some excuse me, Mr. Worldwide." And I said, "Actually, that's what Sean calls me, so thank you." Oh, she couldn't she'll like, "God damn, you're always so just, so extra." But yeah, I just said I am super duper grateful for that. And you know how when you put a new contact in your phone,
Mm-hmm.
most people are going to be putting the phone number of their own country. I always do the plus thing because most of my contacts are going to be outside, so I gotta do +1 or plus whatever,
Right.
and I always do that. And she goes, oh my gosh, this guy! Can you believe this guy?"
And
So that's nice.
isn't it funny that the pattern interrupt of using WhatsApp versus regular cell is enough to create a conversation? I love it. I love it. The fact that missing the fact that I'm calling you, it's more important that I understand why you're calling me from a place that's not the normal method. I'm hearing your voice. Do I really care what modality it comes across in? That's kind of cool. I love it.
Well, apparently she does.
Yeah, I think that's fascinating. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
outstanding.
And I said, even for my family, I sometimes call them on WhatsApp, despite the fact we're all in Serbia, because again, I'm used to just traveling so much. So I usually
Yep.
FaceTime on WhatsApp. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, you're so just." I said, "What?"
I love
So
it.
thank you for
You're
allowing me to
welcome,
be Mr. Worldwide out there, Mr. 305.
Mr.
But yeah,
305. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you, brother.
thank you, brother.
Okay. Hey, Silke, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sean.
Good morning.
How are you feeling this morning?
Outstanding.
You won't even let me finish the question. I could have just flipped it and asked something else. That would have been very funny. I will do that someday when you're
I
not
will pay
thinking of,
attention.
because you're so quickly answering me. That is funny. Oh, I was going to say something else, but I want to piggyback on what HH just said. When people that live in US call me on WhatsApp, I always think that's weird too. And I want to ask them the same thing. Why you call me on WhatsApp? Because I only assume that, people from other countries do so. I don't know why, but it's weird. When he was just mentioning it, that just popped into my head. But anyway, probably more people think the same way, or maybe they don't. I don't know.
If
But
you'd like a real, I don't want to say a snooty answer, but one that makes them significant, you could say, listen, WhatsApp is one of the few modalities I can connect with you that's totally encrypted. Because I value our relationship at such a high level, I want our communication to be encrypted and to be safe. And watch them just go, oh, okay. I'm special. Rather than, it was easy for me. Get over it.
that's what he said. Well, that's a very great idea, because I was speaking to someone yesterday and they told me, "Oh, we should not be texting about things anymore because, when I come across the border, they may check my phone." And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, okay, well." So maybe the encrypted part is It's a great idea. Hey, there you go. They can always, I think WhatsApp is the only WhatsApp is the only what is it called? The only app that you can automatically delete yes, that
Disappearing text.
yes, well, yes, thank you. That's what I meant exactly. Disappearing. I find that annoying when people turn that on and I go turn it off. But yeah, I mean, I wonder why that is.
Which part? The annoying
It-
part, or why
No,
they?
no, not the annoying part. Why they came up with the disappearing text? Because when we first
Because it was
started
used by
using
drug people in the beginning.
what?
Yeah.
But when we first started using WhatsApp, that wasn't available. That was my next sentence. But
Right. The upgrade was because of the international folks who were using it. Yeah.
yeah, I don't like it because then you can't go back and say, hey, you sent this and this, right? Because
Yep.
it's gone. Like I'm not having a conversation with somebody. Oh yeah, AJ knows for drug deals. I know the Germans already were looking at him
Yep.
for the drug deals. So yes, I woke up this morning very discombobulated, and I'm not sure why, because I'm thinking, it's already December, and I don't know, I didn't feel like that yesterday.
Well,
It's like it
because you had made
bothers me.
you
I
made a
I feel like
decision.
I didn't get anything done yesterday what I wanted to do. I mean, yes, I taught my classes and everything, but I didn't up level in any shape or form. And
Right,
I guess
because
that
the I that wanted to up level didn't have authority. And today the I that can review the information can find fault and say, I didn't do it. Well, the I that notices the fault or the lack of leveling up isn't the same I that did not level up. This is where we get so confused, and the typical person beats themselves up if they really had a conversation, understanding that we are multiple personalities. And the I that chose not to level up was not the I that's aware of not leveling up. Right. So the you of this morning that realizes you, to use the language that you used, the you that realizes you did not level up is not the same you that didn't level up, because you're frustrated with it. The one that did not level up wasn't frustrated yesterday. It just didn't do it until it sat down, took a seat, and the I that wants success realized, what the hell did you do yesterday? We say that. What did you do yesterday? I didn't do anything. You have to say the I that's aware is not the same I that failed.
no, it's not that I didn't do anything. It just seems like
You didn't level
uh
up. You failed.
thank
You
you.
have to have that pain, because if you don't have pain, you'll have this comfort zone of, well, I don't want to get mad at myself because I'll get better. No, you got to get pissed off and say that does not exist today. I am going to be the one in control, and I am going to write down my goals. I am going to set my intentions. And yesterday I can't change, but people will tell me about their yesterday for decades. For decades, they'll tell me about their yesterday. I want you to tell me about your tomorrow. Tell me about, I don't know what today is. Today's Tuesday. Tell me about your Wednesday. Don't tell me about your Monday. Tell me where you're going. Don't tell me where you've been. Where you've been, I can't help you. Tell me where you're going. I can maybe give you some insight. But I can't, I'm just going to sit and listen to your yesterdays. And this is for everybody. I tell this to everybody. I tell it to CEOs. When they call me in and say, we've got 5,000 seats, we have a room for 5,000 people, we only have 2,000 tickets sold. And last year, I go, I don't give a rat's butt about last year. We're talking about today, Skippy. If you want to, you're paying me a lot of money. If you want to spend time talking about yesterday, you can't get mad at me when you failed because you didn't let me do what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to work about tomorrow. I don't care what happened yesterday. We're definitely not going to do what you did yesterday because yesterday did not work. So don't tell me about it.
Well, you're very right. You cannot change what
You
happened
can't
yesterday.
change, so why talk about it? What you can do is say, well, I was doing this yesterday and that didn't work, so I have to do something completely different. Well, I don't know what to do completely different. Start with your body. Do a 360. Sing your goals this morning. Do something different. Your body has to feel weird. You've got to feel uncomfortable. Otherwise, you're stuck in your comfort zone. And everybody wants to argue with me as a mentor, as a teacher, as a coach, to why they should stay in their comfort zone. And they say, and your I isn't the same I. The I that defends a conversation with me is the one who wants to stay stuck.
Well, I don't want to stay stuck.
Good. Then I would offer you a chance to make a decision. Do everything with awareness. Yesterday happened because you weren't aware. You chose to not be aware. Only after the fact, only after the delay did you become aware. And you stacked a whole bunch of awarenesses till the end of the day. And you woke up this morning realizing, oh my gosh,
someone else offered to do something, to do something for me, and they either didn't never follow through or they never updated me. So that's yes. So I should not depend on other people. I should follow through with whatever myself, not say,
well,
"Oh,
you didn't
I'm
create
gonna take care
expectation.
of this." What?
Clarify, qualify, create expectation. There was no creating of expectation, what to expect in the future. Hey, listen, you're going to do that for me. What does that look like? At the end of you doing whatever that task or challenge is, what's going to be the end result? Well, I'm going to do this for you. I know, but what's that going to look like? Well, I'm going to do this, and this. Awesome. How are you going to feel if you get that done? We have to bring feeling into it because logic is what screwed everybody up. Everybody has this idea that if I write down my goals, it's done. Writing down your goals has nothing to do with your success. It's the feeling you create inside, the vibratory state of you sending out a signal into the universe. This is the vibration I am choosing. This is the vibration I am calling in. If you don't get excited when you write your goals, if you don't get excited, have this just fire in your belly when you realize who you're becoming, congratulations. How's that working? So if somebody says, I'm going to do this for you, I go, awesome. How would you like me to feel when it's done? At the end of the day, if it's a 1-day project or a 2-day or a 3-week project, at the end of the 3 weeks, how would you like me to feel?
No, she was going to get that done yesterday.
Yeah. Well, then at the end of today, how would you like to feel at the end of today? I'd like to feel great. How would you like me to feel? Awesome. What does that look like? Well, the task is done. Awesome. So how would I check in to make sure the task is on target? If you're doing it for me, how would you like me to follow up with you to make sure, to ensure we're going to hit the deadline and it'll be completed? Oh, you don't need to follow up with me. I know you're going to do it. I need to follow up. I need it for my own sanity. Oh, well, you could just check in this afternoon. Awesome. And what would that look like? A text, a call? You call me, you tell me I'm on target. What would that look like? You've got to create expectation. And that's the problem. That's why relationships fail. Somebody expected somebody to do something. That's how feelings get hurt. Somebody expected somebody to do something and the expectations were off. So
yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've got to, so that's why clarify, qualify, create expectation. Right? When somebody says, well, I want to create $1,000 this week. Awesome. I'm going to qualify. Do you have the skills and a methodology? Do you have a vehicle that would allow you to produce $1,000? You may not have the skill or talent right now, but do you have a vehicle that if you learned how to use it correctly, could generate the $1,000? Yes. Awesome. What skill or talent do you need to make that happen? Well, I need to talk to more people. Awesome. What does more people look like? And so now you go through and you let them outline the process. And all you have to do is make sure they stay stuck in their process. Because if you say, well, tell me how to do it. The way I would do it's going to be probably a lot more painful than the way you could do it. So what's your best method? That's what I'm here to help you with, is how can I help you, right? How is human. If somebody asks you how, they're saying, I need to adjust as a human. They're not saying that. They think how is strategy. How is strategy? It's the strategy to become better.
So when I should not ask someone, how can I help you?
Well,
or should I?
you could say how, because they're,
Because I do say that, and then
and
I
that's
never get a
perfectly fine.
response.
That's listen, I say, how can I be of service?
Yes,
So
yes.
it's the how can I serve you so that you can become better? Most people will take that as an insult. Oh, I don't need to be better. You want to be better. That's why you're asking for, that's why you want more. So when somebody says to me, well, how do I do that? I kid, I want to take the pressure off. And I came up with the phrase, very well. Why do you ask? Because I want that. Awesome. What does it look like when you win? See, if the why is clear enough, the how doesn't matter. We never get clear on the why. We never get clear on the feeling. We never get clear on the finish line, them crossing the finish line. We only get very clear on the wall that they're going to bang into. And the wall is they're not knowing the how. So how. If I say, why do you want to achieve that? Well, because I want this. The how disappears. The how reveals itself instantly. Doesn't the how go away as soon as it reveals itself? Doesn't the confusion go away as soon as we find a path forward? It may not work, yet it's a path forward, and now we know it doesn't work. So as soon as we get some clarity, as soon as we get some expectation, the how disappears. The wall disappears. And some of us don't want the wall to disappear because what's on the other side of the wall? Uncertainty. And the last time I got on the other side of the wall, the uncertainty kicked my butt. I didn't know what to do. I got made fun of and I got this. And so we go from uncertainty to providing certainty to go, well, that's too tough, or I'm not good enough, or I can't feel that way. We take uncertainty and we have to make it certain. And if we live in certainty, we will live in pain. And that's the challenge with 98% of the population is the uncertainty. As soon as we step into the unknown, or we think we're going into the unknown, we put some kind of certainty around it. Well, that's scary. That's fearful. That's this, that's that. And we take uncertainty, which we have to have in our life, and we try to figure out some way to put certainty to it, and we kill our own dreams.
Wow, that's huge.
And when you realize that, you go, wow, I get to do the unknown. Isn't that cool? The unknown is going to be awesome, because now, how much influence do I have in the unknown, right? How much potential is in the unknown? 100%.
Yes.
And if I go from 100% to narrow it down to the certainty that I'm aware of, called my life experience, I take 100%. And if I narrow it down to 98% of what is possible, where do you think the success lives? In the 2%. Because 98% is everything I know. And if everything I know is where I need to go, then I can only get what I currently know. And what I need to get is the thing I don't know. So I have to experience the unknown, which is in that 2%. And I won't focus on the 2%. You take a molecule, you take an atom. And if you look at the size of an atom, right? Very tiny, right? But I'm expanding it. The size of an atom, it is 2% stuff. Electrons, protons, neutrons, croutons, whatever's in that atom, right? It's only the physical matter of it. The physical matter of an atom is 2%. The rest of the size of an atom is 98% nothingness. And we are so focused, so forced to focus on the 2%. 98% of possibility exists. We never touch into it, called vibration, called energy, called frequency. And we keep going. How? 2%, 2%, 2%, 2%, 2%, 2%. And our life sucks because we're focused on the 2%, not the 98% of possibility. And it's fascinating to watch. I kind of have this visual. Every time I look around, I just see everybody, 98% of the people I look at are banging their heads against an imaginary wall. And they want to fight with me.
They want to fight with you?
Yeah, absolutely. They want to stay stuck where they're at. Well, I tried that and it didn't work. Okay, I try something else then. But what? How? Human, become something different. Become aware of what you're doing. Awareness. If we all just became 10% more aware, you would realize the waste that you are allowing to transpire with every breath. You're thinking about things that you don't want to think about. You're thinking about people you don't want to think about. You're thinking about things you don't have. And you're wondering, why do I keep not having the things I want to have? Because you keep thinking about the things you don't have. Everybody can tell me a list of the things they don't have. It's very hard for them to tell me a list of the things they do have. Well, what do you mean? I don't have enough money. But do you have money? Well, yeah, but not enough. Okay. So then it's a 20-minute argument about, oh, okay, well, I have this much because I'm the one limiting it. And nobody wants to take that responsibility, because now you've got to step into uncertainty, and nobody wants uncertainty. Very few people want uncertainty. Well, but I need to know. Okay, how's that working for you? You know everything you got up to this moment, up until this moment, up until this moment. You know it. Until you step into the unknown can't deliver to you what you're asking for, because everything you want is in the unknown. If you want more money than you currently have, that's in the unknown. You know how much money you have. If you want more money, you want that. If you want a relationship, that's in the unknown. If you want better health, if you want a sexier body, that's in the unknown. Well, I used to have it. Well, then why is it so hard to have something you used to have? Because I have a story that won't let me have that. Well, I'm older. Oh, okay. I'm skinnier now than I was back to when I was 18. That's why I don't know what day it is. I don't pay attention. I pay attention to the now. It's today's some day that ends in a Y. That I know. That I know for sure. That's someday that ends in a Y. I don't know what date it is. I always got to look at my phone. That's not a priority for me. I can pretty much guess what time it is, just because I understand 24 hours, and I understand my body clock, and my body clock is tied to the universe. So in this atmosphere, in this particular location, based upon time zone, when I go to Europe, I have never had jet lag. Jet lag doesn't exist in my body. It just doesn't exist. I don't know how. It's the craziest thing. I'll fly with somebody who I've flown with for years. We'll be on the same plane. We'll be on this. We were up the same amount of time. We slept the same amount of time. And I'll be damned if when we don't land in Frankfurt or somewhere in Germany or someplace else to get to our next flight to go. They are exhausted. I'm like, how's that happen? It's how I don't understand. But it's the story they tell them. Oh, I got to get some sleep. I'm going to be so exhausted. I'm like, oh, well, whatever. You've partied all night and worked all day the next day without a problem. I don't know why it's so hard to lay in a flat bed on an airplane and you're exhausted. It's a great story. It's a way they get to brag. It's a way they get to be important when they arrive in a new country. I realized I'm already something significant when I land in a new country, because I'm an ignorant American in Europe. And I know it. You guys got doorknobs older than my country. That's the first thing I'll tell people. Show me a 200-year-old doorknob. They go, oh, it's in that building. I can just point anywhere and there's a 200-year-old doorknob. And
they can see you American because you're wearing white socks that you pull up.
Yep.
No European does that.
Right.
Well, it's, yes.
So the awareness
it's
of
whatever
yesterday.
We put in our mind. No, it's very crazy true. And I totally agree when people say, oh, I'm so exhausted or whatever. Well, I think lots of times it's in their head, to be honest, but people get very upset when you tell them that. So I refrain from telling them that.
Yep.
Yes, but I'm very good at trying to be not aware of things, evidently. And then I come here in the morning and I realize, then I wake up in the morning and I don't feel very good. Yeah.
It would be curious for all of us to take the word I out of our dialogue and have conversations without the word I.
And replace it with Sean?
No, just replace it with nothing. Replace it with space.
Well, how would you talk then?
Well, it would be interesting to experience the things that we've experienced in the morning, right? What if it was us instead of I? We come on the call in the morning and we're all expecting to hear something that's going to bring value to us. I get on the call in the morning and I want you all to
There you go. You already do.
No,
I
I'm
and
just
I
saying
is-
that's the difference. If I communicate in a us conversation, it's not about me. Isn't it fascinating? You know, when we're younger, we all have different stories. My story, not my story is I grew up on a farm. Your story is you grew up where you grew up. The thing is that all of those stories have brought us together to this moment. There is no I in this moment. There's an us.
yes. So
As we become aware of that, you'll find that the I who speaks of the I, right? The one who speaks of the one is seeking a certain amount of significance because that's the only place that I gets it. When you are in service, when you are with Lola Bean, when you're with your horse, you can say, "Oh, I love you." That's sharing your energy. That's you giving of you. That is the I that loves Lola Bean. Where's the I that loves Lola Bean when you were disappointed with the person yesterday? It wasn't the same I. And when we realize that we have a variety of eyes, characters that come forth onto the stage, and we become that personality, that vibration, which is why it would serve us if we carried the Lola Bean feeling with us throughout our day, because when we're happy, we can influence others to be happy because they feel our vibration. Lola Bean doesn't run around going, "Oh, is that Silka? Oh, I'll be happy for Silka, but I won't be happy for her daughter." No, I'm not going to do that.
that little bean is always happy.
Right. And why is that? Because Lola Bean doesn't have the chance to go. There's no I in the dog world. There's pack. And everybody's wanting to be part of the pack.
But there's maybe I when she wants some chicken.
Well,
Oh my
I
God,
agree.
you always open my mind to all these amazing possibilities. And I need to, yes, I mean, our minds are full.
Yes. Until.
And I'm not saying I'm trying to
No,
practice.
I know. And I applaud you for that. I heard that. And that's again, you created a new neural network in your brain that took the I and set it on the side, and you bumped into it. Oh, no. The I that uses the I is not the one that said our brains are full. It's community. It's conversation. It's now a dialogue, because when you say our, ooh, that draws me in. I'm part of your conversation. I get to be a part of your conversation. And that's what the I is seeking. The I is seeking connection. So as you communicate with your prospects, with your team members, listen for the I. And how do you bring their I into your world? Because if you are speaking I and they are speaking I, the two worlds haven't collided. They keep bouncing off each other. They haven't meshed.
Very true.
And our job, our responsibility, if we choose to accept it as leaders, as people who allow significance to flow from us into the lives of others, because they're seeking significance. And if we know that we are a giver of significance, not my significance, I am reminding you and preparing you for the significance that you are stepping into. The only way you can arrive at a new level of significance is through the unknown. So my goal is to give you significance, arrive into the unknown for a new level of significance, which means uncertainty. Most people are uncertain of how good they can become. Right? What's the poem Marianne Williamson always talks about? The biggest fear we have is who we can become. So that's an uncertainty. And so my goal is to give you significance as you sit in this moment, that you have the skills and capabilities to step into the unknown to arrive at a new level. That's all a leader does is, can I serve you in such a way to allow you to elevate your vibration, to step into the unknown and arrive at a place you already knew. Right? What's that? There's a poem and there's a line in it that says, the goal of life is to arrive at a new place and already know it is home. And that's all we're doing is we're wanting to undo. We're needing to undo what's been done through us. And as we undo it, we arrive at the place we've never been before and already know it is home. Something to that nature. It's a cool line. I'll get better at remembering it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have
Welcome,
a
welcome.
most amazing, wonderful, world-class day. And we love you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Doesn't that feel, it feels awkward, but it also feels cool. I love it. It's a different frequency, even when you're saying it with a little bit of uncertainty. And that's where the next step comes from. How many of you drop a D in the chat if you heard something different, if you heard a different vibration? You felt a different vibration. It's significant. It was wildly significant to hear that shift in your vibration. And I applaud you for being vulnerable enough to do it for one of the first times. I think it was awesome. Congratulations. It was easily felt on my part. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you. Love
You're
you.
welcome. Love you too. Hey, Selena. Good morning, Selena.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I have a question.
Okay.
What's the difference between being out of state
Mhm.
versus having thoughts that might not feel the best, but it's kind of giving you guidance to where you need to change, which could like seem like you're out of state, if that makes sense.
Sure. The out of state is a certainty, and the certainty is a path you only know. So when you are having thoughts that are taking you out of certainty, it feels uncomfortable. And this is where people say, we have, right? Will Smith says, everything you want is on the other side of your comfort zone. Everything you want is, right? Have you ever been skydiving?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so skydiving is one of the most visceral experiences I've ever had. You're in an airplane, tandem skydiving, right? So I wasn't pulling the chute. I was just the monkey jumping out in front. And when the person that you're tied to is telling you, fold your arms, and they're leading you out of the airplane. And the visual that you get is that there's a wing right there about 3 feet away. There's a propeller up there about 10 feet away. There's a tail fin back here about 15 feet away. And you've got all of these things. And when you look straight down, the ground is 10,000 feet away. And you're about to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. So this fear, and you're leaning out and you're attached, you forget about the qualifications of the person that you're strapped to. You're like, I just hope I don't pee myself on the way down. And you're not thinking, how many jumps have they had? How many qualifications do they have? Do they know how to pull the chute? Now, you went through all of that in the training, yet when it came time to jump, I became all myopic, all about me. And so much so that they video it, you don't even remember half of the feelings or the joy of the jump, of the free fall, of the your brain is thinking survival, survival, survival. So when you are in this moment where you jumped, you've got to be able to say, do I know this or do I not know this? Am I making up a story that this is different? Or am I actually doing different? So when that happens, the instant that happens, Selena, I would offer you a suggestion to say, just get up and do a 360 in your body. Your body, the memory in your cells, the vibratory state of your current level of success exists in 30 trillion cells, or 40 trillion if you have more. It exists in every one of your cells. And every second, 10 million cells die. So you have a chance to let go of your old story when those 10 million cells die. But the challenge is those 10 million cells have just been duplicated to their exact same vibration. So you have to change, you get to adjust, increase the frequency of the cells that are about to die. So when they duplicate, they make new cells. Now, if you do the thing, 10 million cells into 30 trillion, you'll see how long it takes to rewire the body. That's if every second you are focused on the more, not the comfort zone. The second you drop back into the comfort zone, those cells duplicate again with the old story. And the old story was, do you realize the old story was you already asking the question? That's how old the old story is. Not yesterday, the 2 minutes ago when you just asked the question is the old story. So I say that to say it requires tremendous amount of energy. It requires the cells of now to have the white hot burning desire so they can literally vibratorily expand throughout the body. Do you know when you get chicken skin or goose skin? What do you call it when you get the chill bumps?
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Okay, goosebumps. When you get goosebumps, that's when your body, the cells are literally exploding with energy of greatness, that it literally raises, it tightens the pores of our skin and makes our hair stand up.
Yeah.
Because there's so much energy in our body.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we have goosebumps all the time? Why aren't we living in a goosebump state? Well, that would be crazy. Would it? What, really? What can you look at? Here's what I would offer you. What could you look at in your current room that would give you goosebumps?
My plant.
Okay. How about your goals?
Also, yeah, I do have a whiteboard written in front of me.
Right. But here's the important thing, ladies and gentlemen. Pay attention to what she shared with us. Gives you a lot of information about her. She looked at something living and it drew her attention. I said, goals. Well, yeah, I have a whiteboard too. The thing to pay attention to is, so now I would offer you, tell your goals to your plant and let your plant send you the vibrations of your goals. Don't let the whiteboard do it. That's two-dimensional. You're a three-dimensional, energy-seeking, soul-seeking individual. Have you seen the study where houseplants know when you're about 2 kilometers away from home?
Really?
Yeah. They've literally connected electrodes and everything else to houseplants. And when you get within about a 2 kilometer radius, so a mile and like 2.6 miles, whatever it is, 2 kilometers, your houseplants start to come alive.
That's
Their
crazy.
frequency changes. They can recognize we have a 10-foot diameter radius, right? Our heart goes out 10-foot diameter. A houseplant can read us 2 kilometers away.
Wait, that's so cute.
Right? Feel the energy. So now, before you go 2 kilometers away, you can ask your houseplant. You can ask that plant, I need more energy. Ask it right now, just mentally. Say, I want some more energy. Send me more energy. And tell me if
this plant stayed alive the whole time I was gone.
Shocking.
Both of my plants in my room.
So thank it, but say right now, say, I need you to send me I need you to give me some goosebumps right now and see if you don't get goosebumps.
I need to have an intimate moment with my plant to do that.
Fine, perfect. My point is that you can use that even in a conversation. Because if the houseplant can recognize you 2 kilometers away, it knows where you're at all the time. It just becomes active because it thinks we can feel it 2 kilometers away and we can't. So I would offer you, I would take a little bit of soil out of it and put it in a little baggie and carry it with you. Well, that's just silly. I know, isn't it? That's what I would suggest. Do more silly. I carry sheep's wool. I carry some of, when I was petting Anura the other day, I got some of her wool came out. And so I carry that wool with me. It's in my pocket like lint. I go, what the hell is this? Oh, that's Anura. My pocket.
Yeah, it's also the intention behind why you're doing that.
Exactly. And that's how we adjust. That's how we stay in the state. That's how we get into the frequency. When I take a shower, I'm looking for something I've never seen before in the shower. Doesn't matter
And
what.
why do you do that?
Because I want to pay attention to the universe is always giving us clues. When you realize that the universe is always giving you, even if you haven't asked for it, it's wanting to nudge you, going, hey, look over there. Hey, look over there. You ever been in an environment where there's somebody that you could be attracted to, and one of your friends says, he's looking at you. They're looking at you. You see I don't know. They're not looking at me. No, they're not. Yes, they are. Have you seen them smile? Oh my God. They're like staring you down. They're like wanting to, rah, rah. And you're like, I don't see it. This is exactly what the universe does every second, every millisecond of every day. Hey, your goal's over here. Hey, your goal's over here. And you're like, oh, I should have done that. I know. You want to do it again? Let's do it again. Yeah, I know you should have done. Come on. You ready? Here it is. It's over. And it never stops. It almost becomes the universe wants you to have what you are seeking, right? The phrase, what you are seeking is seeking you. It is so seeking you at this moment that we can't even see it because it's so obvious. And when we become childlike wonder, childlike faith, all of a sudden it's, oh my God, it was always here. It was always here. It was right in front. How many times have we ever said this phrase? It was right in front of me the whole time. And the universe is like, oh my God. Yes, you could have had a V8. So when we become aware that the universe is on our side, we don't have to ask how anymore. We just have to ask what do I need to become aware of? Show me. Look, God, show me a way that I know I had nothing to do with this. And God goes, oh, I got you. And boom. Listen, Sunday, I was helping a buddy of mine at his ranch. And I needed to come home, get a ladder. And he said, take my truck so you don't have to tie it on top of your Hummer. He said, just put it in the back of take my truck. Here's my keys. So I get his truck and I come home. And I'm like, why am I coming home anyways, long story short, I'm leaving my driveway. And our driveway is 600 feet long and it's got a little curve in it. And the sheep are on the right-hand side on the way out. For those of you that have been here, you know what I'm talking about. But across the street is my neighbor's house, Brent. And I see this white thing across the street. Now, I had some big plastic that came on some chairs, and the garbage man took one and he left one. He said, I'll take the next one next week. It takes up a lot of space in my truck. And I look at it and I recognize the butt. How many of you know somebody so much that you love them that you recognize their butt? Well, I recognize this butt, and it was Gizmo's butt. The ram. He's across the street. I'm like, oh my God, the rest of the sheep. And the other ladies, the mamas, they're standing in the field eating, and Gizmo's across the street. And I jump out of the truck and I yelled, it was the greatest thing. Gizmo. And he picks his head up and he looks at me. He's like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. And he runs across the street back to the fence. But the fence isn't down. I don't know how he got out. The fence wasn't down anywhere. Long story short was Gizmo was out. I wasn't expecting that. I couldn't wrap my eyes around it, kind of like in the movie The Secret, where the shaman had to come because they saw waves in the ocean because they've seen waves before, but they couldn't see the boats. I couldn't see Gizmo. I thought it was plastic. I kept making it plastic, and then it would move. I'm like, there's no wind. Why is the plastic moving? Because it wasn't plastic. It was Gizmo. I couldn't imagine now if I see Gizmo's butt across the street again, I'll instantly know what it is because I have that memory. So it was an unknown. Yeah. I was certain it wasn't Gizmo because he doesn't get out. He's never been out. Mm-hmm. So how do we step into this unknown? We have to ask a lot of questions. It's got to be Gizmo. And the only thing that could exist was Gizmo, and I couldn't see it for about 2 minutes. And then I'm sad I didn't take a picture of him across the street because I doubt he'll ever be over there again. Next time I'll be ready. Because I'm thinking he's out, he's going to be away. He didn't know he was out. He just knew he thought I expanded the pasture. So that's how we step into the unknown.
I gotcha.
We have to give up certainty.
Yeah. And also be aware of when it's societal stories and programs that are the ones looping in your mind.
Yep. Exactly. And then that's where you get to ask, is this me or is this them? Am I wanting to be them or am I wanting to be me? And if the answer is most people say I want to be them because I
Bingo.
don't have a me story.
Yeah, and being them is easier.
A lot easier because they're living in lack, and so I can live in lack too. Because
Yeah.
I
And also
wanted more.
the path is already created. So you don't have to go through the journey of the unknown.
And I don't have to worry about them looking at me with the side eye. What are you doing? I love it. Great question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with yous. So again, the 6 human needs: certainty, uncertainty, or variety, right? Uncertainty or variety. Number 3, significance. Number 4, connection and love. Number 5, growth. And number 6, contribution. And we have to have the first 4 in order to get growth and contribution. Most people try to skip over those, skip over the uncertainty and say, well, I just want to grow. I just want to help people. Helping people is in the unknown. It is in the unknown. You don't know how they're going to respond. You don't know what they're going to say. So you got to be surprised when they like, I don't want your help. Oh, okay. That's awesome. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your head brain training uncertainty living misfit. I'll see y'all where?
At the next
At
event.
the next event. Somebody give me some Costa Rica.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us.
Be with us.
Be with us all. And the queen of uncertainty, Jessie Lee Ward.
Awesome.
Bosley, we love you, girl. And the little white fluffy. Gurgly. We love you, Fee. All right, everybody, go have some fun today. Enjoy. Look for the uncertainty. And don't be surprised. That's where your joy lies. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Love you all. Have a great day.